Welcome back to another naval news segment. Today's news comes at us from navalnews.com. So full credit to the naval news staff for breaking this story. And this comes at us from the TASS, state-run media out of Russia as well, that the Admiral Kuznetzov will not return to service before 2024. That's greatly extending its already delayed dry dock period. But first, a word from our sponsor. This video is sponsored by Aura. Do you know the fastest growing crime in America is identity theft? For years, this crime rate has been surging and affecting millions of Americans. There's a new victim every 14 seconds, yet when it happens to those who have their identity stolen, they act shocked. Imagine logging into your computer only to find the password has been changed. Then you begin getting notifications from your bank, credit card, crypto accounts. I felt panic, fear, and anxiety when my email was compromised last week. That's why I'm excited to partner with Aura, who is sponsoring this video. Aura is an identity theft protection, fraud monitoring, and VPN password management and antivirus all combined into one easy-to-use app. Aura monitors the dark web for your emails, passwords, and social security numbers, and sends alerts fast right to your phone and email. When it comes to fraud, every second matters. Connect your credit and bank accounts and get notified of any changes up to 4 times faster than Aura's competitors. I checked my personal information on the dark web and found 6 instances where my login and password information had been shared. So I want you to use the link in the description to create a free account and check your personal information, see if it's being shared on the dark web. Tell me in the comments section how many times your information has been compromised. Aura includes a VPN that allows you to stay anonymously online and keeping your browsing history and personal information safe and encrypted. Their antivirus software blocks malware and viruses before they infect your devices. So protect yourself and your family from America's fastest growing crime. Try Aura free for 2 weeks by using the link in the description. All right, some really interesting news coming out of Russia saying that the Admiral Kuznetzov won't return to service before 2024. The quote from the official Russian media source called TASS is, quote, "The Admiral Kuznetzov will be handed over after an upgrade and acceptance trials no earlier than 2024. The overhaul has been delayed for several months because of exposed new defects," the source said. TASS did not obtain official confirmation of that report. So what it is this ship, one, it's been plagued by all sorts of problems, including fires. The dry dock it was in sank while it was in there. And so all those added to the time it's going to take to finish this overhaul that's been going on since 2017. But every time they fix a system or they modify a system, it has a cascade effect to the systems around it because they're all interlinked. These are very complex machines. So they're running into this problem where as they fix one problem, another problem crops up, and that's delaying the release of this ship out of dry dock and into sea trials. And that's a really good thing for everyone on the opposite side of Russia, because the more money, time, and effort they put into this albatross of a ship, that's less money and effort that they have towards other theaters that they can contribute to other theaters. But this has definitely been a prestige project since the 1990s, and it's been a money sink for them, just like all aircraft carriers are. But Russia's really struggled to keep this one going. Let's go ahead and just read from the piece here and see what else they say. In early June, the aircraft carrier was placed in dry dock on the 35th shipyard. The overhaul deadline was postponed to 2023. The deputy CEO of the United Shipbuilding Corporation, Vladimir Korolev, told TASS that the upgraded aircraft carrier would get completed, new combat potential, and will enter service for at least another 10 to 15 years. That's what they expect to get out of this with these upgrades. And, if you upgrade a ship and keep the hull integrity, in check, you can get a lot of years out of these ships. But it costs more and more money the older these ships get to do that. Now, the Naval News authors have a few comments here at the bottom. Let's give them some credit here. And they say, the Admiral Kuznetsov began overhaul in 2017 after operating on the Syrian coast. In October of 2018, it was leaving the floating PD-50 dock on the 82nd shipyard in Russia when the dry dock began to sink. A crane then fell on the deck because of its list, and on December 12th of 2019, a fire broke out on the carrier. So the ship has just been absolutely plagued with all sorts of problems. And I'm going to bring up one of my subbriefs that I did on this ship and show you more of the history of how much of the ship and how much it's spent in dry dock and how little it's been at sea. Okay, so we're here in the middle of the subbrief. You can see that her keel was laid back in the 1980s. 1982, they originally laid this. And her original name was not Kuznetsov. It was the Riga, but it didn't stay Riga very long. It was also named Leonid Brezhnev in honor of him. At the time, she was eventually launched in 1984, but in 1987, renamed Tbilisi. And then November 1989, she does sea trials and aircraft certification. I believe those were all done in the Black Sea. She was built in the Black Sea on one of the shipyards there in Ukraine. October 1990, she's finally renamed Admiral of the Soviet fleet Kuznetsov. That's her full name. We call her Admiral Kuznetsov for short. And she's finally commissioned December 25th, 1990. So in 1992, she changes home port to the Northern Fleet, and this is a real problem because this exposes a lot of the design flaws in this aircraft carrier. She was built in a relatively warm climate compared to the Arctic Circle Northern Fleet climate that she's going to, and this resulted in a lot of water pipes freezing and bursting. The boilers have a high failure rate. Oh, and going back to the pipes freezing and bursting, approximately half of the heads, those are bathrooms, had to be secured because the water was freezing in those pipes, causing problems. So the crew's, comfort level was greatly impacted by that. Anyway, in 1995, some 13 years after being laid in the shipyard, she finally becomes operational, and she does deploy to the Med in 1996 with a repair tug. Every time she goes to sea, she has a repair tug alongside of her. And of course, a turbine does break on her first deployment, but she is able to return to port on limited power using her other turbines. So from 97 to 98, she's in dry dock to repair that turbine. She is, in 98, declared inactive, and that is something a lot of countries do. If a ship is going to be in a shipyard for a long period of time, they may place it on an inactive list. But Russia does this in 1998. In 2000, they reactivated her for war games in the Barents Sea. She participates in the search for the Kursk because that was the war game in which the Kursk was lost during that sea. So she was there during that. 2001, she goes back to port, has some more repairs done. And in 2004, the steam turbines are repaired. The piping is replaced throughout the ship so they don't have that freezing problem anymore. Things are looking much better. So 2004, she goes out into war games in the North Atlantic. It's one of the largest war games ever for Russia. They simulate an amphibious invasion, which is a very complex task, even in an exercise, and that garnered a lot of attention. In 2005, they did lose an Su-33 over the side during North Atlantic operations. That's one of the planes that's operating on the deck. In 2007, she does deploy to the Med, and the next year she does war games again in the Barents Sea. 2009, she deploys to the Med again, but has a small fire on board. No significant damage, but she did catch fire there. And she deploys to the Med a couple times after that in 2011 and 2012. But on one of those, she lost propulsion, but she had that repair tug with her and had to use the repair tug to be towed to port for repairs. And then finally in 2014, she deploys to the Med again. So she is getting some good operations between, say, 2008 with those war games all the way up to 2014. That's kind of the heyday of the Kuznetsov, despite the problems she has. In 2016, she deploys off the coast of Syria, and that is really the last time we see her operationally inside of a theater. She does launch strikes in Syria, supporting the Syrian regime with fighters. An Su-33 is lost while landing because the arresting gear failed. They did over 420 strikes during that deployment, and then she enters this floating dry dock in which she's going to be refit and overhauled. But this is the floating dry dock that sank while she was being moved. So, and that crane you see, that's the crane that fell on top of the deck, damaging the Kuznetsov even further. So this ship has had a lot of problems, especially in the last 6 or more years. She did have a short run of success, 6 to 8 year period, but the early years and the most recent years of the Kuznetsov have been a bit of a disaster. Anyway, I go over this ship in great detail on my subbrief. I encourage all of you to watch it. It's a very interesting tale, and the costs continue to climb for Russia. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. Take care.